JRTV is back with the third race of the 2004 NASCAR Nextel Cup Series season as we head to College Station, Texas at the Texas World Speedway for the Pennzoil 400. A great mix of the first two tracks we've gone to this season with high bank draft style racing like Daytona, but also the length, 2 miles, just like the California Speedway in race number 2. And I'm joined by a driver who's won here a lot in the past, Trey Bardo. Trey, great to have you up here in the booth for this action here at the Texas World Speedway. You have 4 wins at this racetrack. It's always been crazy no matter what generation of car we race in. What do you expect to see out of this race? 40 laps of action at Texas World, and we're going to be seeing some fast racing over 200 miles an hour and some pack style racing as well.
So, I mean, hopefully I don't expect to have as much craziness as we had last race, Joe, because that was just a little too much for me. But I do expect some intensity racing again. Like you said, we are looking at pack racing here, and if you look at the track surface, Joe, it is used, it's abused, and it's not new, is what we'll put it in. These drivers know that, and they know what they're getting into. So one small mistake on a track like this could end up being the end of your day or end up of everyone else's day too.
Not only old track surface, but remember, NASCAR's brought cars with smaller spoilers, less downforce on the cars. Goodyear's brought tires that are a little bit softer. What that means is basically we're going to be seeing some more tire wear throughout the course of a run. We're expecting, after a field run, which is just over 20 laps, we're expecting about a second to fall off, maybe 3/4 of a second to fall off. But what that's going to do, Trey, is possibly break this pack up. We're going to be seeing them race together pretty well at the beginning. But once we get 10 laps on the tires, Trey, could we possibly see the pack start thinning out, maybe spread out through the track, and not necessarily just stay packed together all in one big 42 car pack?
Yeah, it definitely is a big possibility there that these guys will get spread out at some point, and when that time comes, if it does, end up happening, that the driver with the one, you gotta have the most power to get through the pack, but you also got to be able to find your way and have your car maneuver the way you want it to be able to stick to the track to make the big moves to continue to get up front.
And I do want to point out, this is a very rare day for NASCAR because we get to race on February 29th, which, there's not always a February 29th. It only happens every 4 years. And how often does it happen that it lands on a Sunday when there's a race? So this is the first time in a while we've had a race on February 29th. And while that's a rare occurrence, it's also a rare occurrence to see 2 rookies take up the first 2 positions in qualifying. But that's what happened. Drew Webb for Hendrick Motorsports put his car on pole position. His other teammates have qualified well as well. Lathan Strickland starting inside the top 10, so is Jerry Chen. Keegan Thompson starting inside the top 15, Matthew Burnett just a little bit further back, and then 2 Webbs outside is Skylar Taylor and the 09. They performed extremely well for a team that doesn't have many starts under their belt for Phoenix Racing. So Skylar Taylor's put this car up on the front row, Trey, trying to get Dodge their best ever result here at the Texas World Speedway. They've only finished a best result of 6th place, and that was last season with Laura Chung. So Trey, 2 rookies on the front row, 2 very unexpected drivers to start on the front row on pole and on outside pole. Is that just a sign of things to come for the race here today?
It definitely could be, but the only downside about that, Joe, is that, like you said, they're rookies, so they don't really have that much experience running up front here with the pack full of, all these veterans and professionals of what they do. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of manage, being in that clean air, and if they try to defend it or if they just kind of try to settle out and find a position where they run comfortably at and see where they can go from there.
And there's a lot of hungry drivers up here at the front of the field wanting to get to victory lane here today. Drew Webb, Skylar Taylor, I mentioned, they're rookies. They've never won. Sebastian Kukulon, nearly 2 wins since 2 years since his last victory. Jude Martinelli's never won. Mitchell Collins only has a few victories in his career. Lathan Strickland looking for another win to start out this season, possibly get more than 1 win in a season. Nathan Orman's never won. Tyler Belladonna's never won. Jerry Chen has never won. Matt Swell's only won once last season. That's the top 10. We can go on and on behind that because a lot of the drivers up at the front, they're looking for something good, either their first ever victory, their first win in a while, or just something to get themselves back on track. So we'll see how all the storylines unfold after 40 laps of action here at the Texas World Speedway. As we'll go take a look at the track facts here for Texas World. A beautiful day, clear skies, some clouds in the sky, but otherwise there's sun beaming down over this 2-mile racetrack as it's 71 degrees and just a little bit of wind in the southeast direction. As mentioned, 2-mile racetrack, and that will be a 40-lap race, which is 80 miles in length. In the fuel window, they'll go 21 to 24 laps. So just past the midway point is when they'll make their pit stops if this race stays under the green flag. Remember, last week we saw 4 caution flags, so we don't know. We could see something like that here again today. A lot of banking in the corner, so that's going to lead to a lot less off throttle time here today. 22 degrees in the corners, 12 degrees on the front straightaway, and 5 degrees on the backstretch. So that's what these drivers will have to deal with here today. And the 8 drivers that have missed the race and are going home after qualifying: Max Davis in the 21, Matt Tuck in the 23, David Dixon in the 39, Colin Teague, Marcus Lerb, Joe Stobbs, Tegan Fox, and Angel Gutierrez are the 8 drivers going home after qualifying for the Pennzoil 400 here at the Texas World Speedway. But it's about time to get going. Let's go on trackside, fire the cars up for the 3rd race of the 2004 season, the Pennzoil 400 here at the Texas World Speedway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Great command to get things going here for the Pennzoil 400 at the Texas World Speedway. 42 cars filter off pit road. And Trey, let's talk about our picks to win this race. Let's start with your pick. Starting 10th place, Mathis Wells in car number 20 has 2 top 10s here in 4 races. So Trey, why do you think he's going to be the one to get to victory lane for the first time since the Daytona night race last season?
Well, you mentioned he's 50% on top 10s here, Joe, and, well, let's be honest, he's John JGR. I mean, they're one of the top teams here, and he is their latest champion, so someone's going to start off their train on getting hot here and making their way up the points inning. I think he's going to be the one to do it here today.
And Jokic Racing looking for some momentum here to start the season. They haven't really had it in the first 2 races. My pick is starting just in front of yours, Trey, and that's going to be Tyler Belladonna in the number 17. He doesn't have much success here, and the reason is he doesn't have many races here. He hasn't finished inside the top 20 in the last 6 Cup races. However, this track has a trend as of late to produce some first-time winners. Think back to 2001, Tim Gary got his first ever victory. Eli Bright in 2002 got his first ever victory. So I think it's going to be another first-time winner here today, and it's going to be Tyler Belladonna to continue the Roush trend. Jay Reynolds won the first 2 races. I think Roush will win the first 3. It'll be Tyler Belladonna, the driver, to do it in race number 3. As the pace car is in, a lot of great drivers at the front of the field, but on pole, it's rookie Drew Webb trying to get his first ever win in just his 3rd start in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Skylar Taylor for Phoenix Racing to the outside. As we come down the front stretch, there's the green flag, and we're underway in the Pennzoil 400 here at Texas World. Trey, that might have been the quickest 4 wide ever. There were 4 wide into turn 1 on lap 1.
Yeah, they went 3 at first. I think it was the 77 of Martinelli that started that one off, and then it was the 12 there of Collins made it 4 wide on the bottom. And Joe, I'll be honest with you, I was a little nervous.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to make it work, but they did make it work. And Collins leads the first lap. Now 3 wide for the lead to the bottom. Jerry Chen has never won, looking to do it here today. Chen moves out in front of the bottom of the racetrack. Conrad Evans getting a push from Mathis Wells, who got down to the bottom. 3 wide, multiple rows deep down the back straightaway. 200 miles an hour, racing off into turns 3 and 4. With Orman on the outside, Chen in the middle, and Conrad Evans down low in the 31. Getting the boost from behind from another orange car, Mathis Wells, and Kukulon coming back to the front of the 29 car.
These guys are absolutely hauling right now around this place, Joe, and I don't know what that means, if that means they're going to wear the tires off more than what they expected it to, or if something's going to happen or what, but these guys are absolutely pushing these cars around the track.
And Mathis Wells is going to push it to the front of the field. Jude Martinelli had a very scary crash last week at the California Speedway. Got out of it all right. He's back here. He qualified in 4th place. He's up to 3rd down the racetrack, but under fire from Baby Ruiz in the number 7 car. Ruiz's success here, there's not any success. In this number 7 car, Trey, he has 4 starts here. His 4 finishes have been outside of the top 20. Maybe today he'd get his first top 20 finish here at Texas World and maybe a race victory, but down to the inside, a man who's looking for his first win in a while. It's Justin Idell is out front for the lead. Evans takes it back from Mathis Wells.
Yeah, these 2 orange cars are battling right now, but that just means that it's going to allow these guys to catch back up, and we'll have to see what they can do. This too, like you said, he's looking for his first win in got a long time, like you mentioned as well. So we'll have to see how hungry he is to get it right now. But these top 4 are all single filed out. Joe, who's going to be the one to make the first move and bring everyone else back into it?
It might be Justin Zeidel with a run down to the inside of Mathis Wells for second place, bringing Vivi Ruiz down to the bottom as well. As you mentioned, the 4 front runners get away. Now they're 3 wide for second place. Ruiz makes the move to the bottom of the racetrack. Behind them, they're 3 wide for fifth. Roberto Crown Jr. makes the move. He was fastest in practice, not so good of qualifying, but he's now raced way up inside the top 5 on lap number 5. Crown Jr. on Matthew Burnett and Zachary Fitzwater Sr., forcing them to the top. Mitchell Collins hanging around the front of the field, and then Keyshawn Richardson won this race last season from last place on the grid. Richardson now up inside the top 10, pushing forward with the namesake sponsor on the hood of that car. So maybe the Pennzoil car can win the Pennzoil 400 here today.
That would be that'd be a way to capitalize on a sponsorship right there, wouldn't it?
It would be. That would be. And you know what? Maybe salt in the wound to Anthony Hernandez, who had Pennzoil as his sponsor for the first few years and wasn't able to get to victory lane in this race, which is also his home track.
Yeah, so that would that'd be insult to injury, salt in the wound, whatever else you want to call that right there. But we'll have to see if Roush can continue their dominant streak so far with a different driver at the sake. But right now, it's really anybody's game still.
Yeah, right now they're still full throttle out through these corners and getting some pack style racing, some drafting in, and everyone's kind of filtering around trying to find out if their car can hang tough with some of these front runners. Is at the front still Evans leading the race. Penske Jasper goes side by side for a second. That's Zeidel on the outside, Collins on the inside, going to make the pass work through turns 1 and 2. Then Keyshawn Richardson coming low for third place. Mathis Wells and Tim Gary's only career win came right here in 2001. Could he possibly repeat? He's going 3 wide for the top 5 right there in that number 10 car, being aggressive early on, moving through the field, and right now looks like that car is pretty sporty.
Yeah, he's definitely able to get to the bottom there, is what you want to do, and carry the momentum. As you can see, the 18 looked like he had a little bit of a jump there, so might be a sign of these tires starting to go. But right now, they're still 3 wide, still racing all you can. You see your pole sitter on the bottom of 3 wide right there, as we're still racing for the lead, and Evans just does not want to give up these top spots.
No, he does not. Conrad Evans trying to stay up at the front, trying to get his first win since Talladega last season. But Mitchell Collins pulls up in front. 2 wins to his credit. Daytona in 2000, Road America in 2002. Collins now moves out in front. Here comes Keyshawn Richardson. So good here as of late at the Texas World Speedway. His last 3 finishes, 4th, 3rd, and 1st here at Texas World. He has an 11.0 average finish. This is a man that is one of the favorites to win here today, and right now up to 2nd on lap number 9, and behind them Evans with the big push from Zeidel stays clear in 3rd place. 3 wide to the corner, Mathis Wells and Tim Gary, and here comes the rookie and pole sitter Drew Webb back up inside the top 10, and now moving for the top 5 with Jude Martinelli right there with them, and almost contact between DeLello in the middle and Zeidel up top.
Yeah, as you can see now, as these guys are starting to spread out a little bit, they're kind of finding where they're going to settle at right now until, either an accident happens or we come to pit stops or something else major happens. But it's kind of, you're seeing the stronger cars right now, which would be the 99, the 12 stayed up front for a little bit, the 31 of Evans as well as the 20 of Wells have also kind of made their names known and are kind of settling themselves up here in the top 5. You can even throw Tim Gary in the mix.
Here comes Tim Gary, the front 5 getaway. They're all under a blanket. Collins had a challenge from Richardson, but got the draft from behind from Evans to get back clear. Now Richardson's going to move up. Evans with a crossover down to the inside for 2nd place. Moving down in front of Tim Gary. Jude Martinelli back up, and here comes Sarah Kirchner. She's moved up from 39th place on the starting grid up to the top 10. And how about, I'm seeing double behind her. Here come the Lowe's guys with Drew Webb in the 84 and Lathan Strickland in the 48. They're working together towards the front of the field, but now Strickland's going to leave Webb out.
No, Joe, if they were the same color, it'd be looking in the mirror. It's weird looking at those cars.
Yeah, imagine if they were the same color. You look in the mirror, you go, wait, I see myself.
I don't know how I'd feel about it. That'd be like those that ambulances, how they have the ambulance backwards on their windshield.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So luckily they're different colors, and the spotters are like in that too, because Lathan spotters like I'm looking for the black Lowe's car, not the blue and silver one. At the front, Evans back to the front. Tim Gary up to 2nd. Sarah Kirchner, as mentioned, from 39th place is up to 3rd on the racetrack. Gary with the run down to the end of the number 10 into turn number 1. Gary wanting the lead in the Pennzoil 400. 3 wide behind. Richardson with the move for 4th place as Tim Gary clears and now leads here at Texas World. He's been good here in the past, as mentioned, winner in 2001, looking for another one. Here are 2 teammates battling side by side. Evans on the bottom, Evans up top, Kirchner on the bottom. Sarah Kirchner looking for 3 consecutive top 5 finishes for the first time in her career, and she's trying to close in on Jay Reynolds' points lead. We'll have to see if she can stay up front here right now in third place and still battling her teammate for the second position. There she goes to the inside on Evans into turn number 1.
We'll have to see if she's going to be able to make it stick here, get some sort of run. But, Joe, I think that top side is just too strong in turns 1 and 2. As you can see, Evans is going to get a big run again and be able to hold off that position, as well as Richardson's going to be able to kind of capitalize that as well.
And how about joining this pack? Evan Hunter didn't start all that well. Started back outside the top 25. Here's Evan Hunter up now inside near the top 5 and looking for some more up in front. So Evan Hunter joining his teammate Tim Gary up inside the top 10. Another driver like Sarah Kirchner looking for 3 straight top 5s to start the season. They're the only drivers along with Jay Brandel that have done that so far this season to score top 5s in both the races. Hunter and Kirchner trying to keep it up inside the top 5 to go 3 in a row, as up front Evans is not giving the lead up. Back attacking on Tim Gary with Keyshawn Richardson right there looking for a way to go. He's going to go high with Gary for now. Maybe Gary's scraping the wall trying to get an entry into the corner, but Evans maintains to the bottom even though he has no drafting help, still hanging tough. But here comes his drafting up. It's his teammate Sarah Kirchner coming to the bottom. So RCR working together as we complete the 14th lap. Evans back out in front here at Texas World.
Yeah, I'll be kind of curious to see how Evans's car kind of, develops as we go longer into this green flag run with the moves he's making. He's going from top to bottom, bottom to top, running that outside in 1 and 2. I mean, you got to think he's just beating on those tires, right, Joe? So is he going to be the one that starts to fall back first while everyone else capitalizes? As you can see, Gary's making that same exact move from top to bottom.
These guys are going crazy at the front of the field, and I love what we're seeing so far here at Texas World. We're seeing drafting racing, but guys can really maintain track position if they have a fast race car. Tim Gary, Conrad Evans are showing that as they've traded the lead back and forth the last few laps. Now here comes Sarah Kirchner moving to the bottom of the racetrack, and here comes Zachary Fitzwater Sr. in that Tide ride, moving up inside the top 5. Here comes Fitzwater with a big run, trying to get his first win in a while since California last season with a new race team as well.
You should become one of those rappers, Joe. That was pretty good right there. Tide, ride, 5. That was nice.
That was pretty good. Everything just lined up perfectly to have that happen. Thanks, Fitzwater, for moving up there.
I was impressed with that one, I'll be honest.
And now at the front, Sarah Kirchner leads. Evan Hunter moving up in the 36 car, and here comes that Tide ride. Fitzwater moving low for second place now on Evan Hunter. Behind them, Keyshawn Richardson going 3 wide on Evans and Gary. Jude Martinelli is moving through the middle to the bottom of the racetrack. And you can see all these guys now. I think these tires trade, they are shot, and you can see how these cars are handling.
Yeah, we're going to have to, I wonder if that's going to almost bunch everyone back up as everyone's going to have to start to, kind of feather themselves and really be patient here. I wonder how that's going to affect everyone. As you can see, Kirchner is just pulling away at the moment. This might be the biggest lead we've seen all day.
She has a pretty good car and a clean racetrack, and showing it right now with Fitzwater trying to chase her down. Then you have Jude Martinelli in the 77 clearing third, and here comes Fitzwater looking low in turn number 1. The PPI Motorsports entry is going to go to the front of the field. Maybe not. He gets a little tight down low, had to lift out the gas. They're going to stay door to door. Where does Martinelli, Richardson, the others go? Right now, Martinelli goes with Kirchner. Richardson's going with Fitzwater. Where does Mitchell Collins go? He's going to stay with his teammate up top for now, but Fitzwater's the help from last season's winner of the Pennzoil 400, and he moves out in front. Fitzwater now leads here at Texas World.
It's strange to see how, I mentioned before, 1 and 2, you want to be on the top. You get the run on the backstretch. But in 3 and 4, Joe, you really want to be on the bottom, because it seems like you're able to cut the corner more like you would think the inside would do. So there's people that are right now, like, watch, the 99, he's going to be able to get a run here and kind of almost clear himself here, but then the 77 is going to have the advantage going into 3 and 4 because he can really dive to the bottom of that racetrack.
You know what else they're going to want to be on the bottom of the racetrack for in a few laps? They're going to be pit stops, because they're within a few laps, Trey, of coming down pit road. About 2 to 3 laps is when the pit window opens. So all these drivers, they're going to want to start making their way to the bottom of the racetrack if their crew chief is saying, all right, we have 2 laps to pit or 3 laps to pit. If you're on the top, like Hunter Reed or Sarah Kirchner, now if you're in the middle, Baby Rose, you're like, all right, I have to get down now before pit stops.
Yeah, so it'll be really curious to see what strategies come into play here. I mean, if you're stuck up top, you're going to have someone that try to force a way to the bottom here, coming on pit entry and possibly cause an accident, or are you going to have someone that's going to go the long game, kind of avoid the busy pit road there and see if the long run works?
I would like to point out, too, with how fast this race is, no caution flag so far, we're averaging a race pace of over 200 miles per hour. That's obviously going to go down once we hit pit road, but that's insane speeds. Fitzwater's race average right now, 200.021 miles per hour. As we cross the midway point, Fitzwater with the lead in the 32. Mathis Wells going for second on Mitchell Collins. Keyshawn Richardson, Baby Ruiz battle side by side. Here comes Tim Gary in the number 10, hanging tough with Zachary DeLello moving to the front. 3 straight top 10s for this number 16 in the Cup Series. He is moving up now inside the top 10 and looking for some more. Here comes Lathan Strickland, Luke Rainey trying to rebound after a very, very disastrous race at California. Rainey up just outside the top 10, just inside the top 10 now is Trey. Pit stops. They're looming ahead. We've crossed halfway. We've completed 21 laps. Pit window's open, Trey. If these guys want to pit, they can do it now.
Who's going to be the first to take the bait, come down pit road, get yourself some tires, because you know these drivers were wanting them, but is it worth, risking seeing what the first one to come down and if it's advantage or disadvantage? You can see Richardson diving to the bottom. Is he going to be the one to take it? We'll have to see what he's looking like going into 3 here. It'll be
Collins.
I think he's going to be taking it. Someone's taking it.
Mitchell Collins coming in, so we have a few cars. Oh, Evan Hunter, I think that is.
They're wrecking in the back.
And we have a car up in the air in 3 and 4. The yellow flag is out. Nathan Stimpton, Jerry Chen. The other one in the air was, I think, Benny Lynn in the 40.
Goodness.
We had cars on pit road, just like kind of last week where we saw cars come down pit road. The yellow came out. So Skylar Taylor is in. Crown Jr., Kukulon. We'll have to see how this plays out. The 9, the 36 made a late move. Drew Webb was in. So will these guys stay on the lead lap, or will they be caught because of this cycle? These guys are slowed down. They've got the caution car, and they're going to come down now under the caution flag. The question is, those guys that pitted under now this green caution scenario, do they get track position, or do they kind of get a net loss, or is it just going to be a net neutral out of this?
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. I feel like, was this the same situation last week, Joe?
It pretty much was, so we'll have to see. These guys are leaving now, so now if you're Evan Hunter and these guys, you want to hit the gas as hard as you can to get around here, kind of not really worry about, the caution pace. You want to get around here. Evan Hunter, he was one of the benefiters last week from this.
Yeah, so we'll have to see if they can hit that 200-mile-an-hour pace to catch back up to the pace car here. But right now, we have the main field coming in. Who's gonna be the beneficiary? Who's gonna have a good pit stop and come back out front, or who's gonna lose time on pit road here?
Yeah, we'll have to see. Remember, Fitzwater led the field in, but remember, he's one of the underfunded cars, so is the pit crew going to be able to hold up to the likes of drivers like Joe Gibbs or Penske Jasper or even Roush Racing as the field comes in? There are those guys, Trick, coming around through 3 and 4. I think some of them might be able.
It's coming off now.
Fitzwater's but those guys are gonna gain track position, it looks like.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna gain quite a few spots there. So it would have been a
contact.
Whoa.
Belladonna, Hunter Reed, and Jude Martinelli's having a long stop in the 77. Finally gonna leave, but Trey's all the way at the back of the field. Wow.
Eli Bright almost made contact as well.
Keegan Thompson is back there. Eli Bright was back there. Jay Randall, one of their first 2 races, was back there. So some interesting games on pit road. Fitzwater's going to come in first and leave first. He's in the lead with Mathis Wells. And then 2 Roush guys, Richardson and DeLello. Evan Hunter's going to jump up to 5th with teammate Tim Gary right behind him. Then Mitchell Collins, Conrad Evans, Crown Jr. is on pit road. Nathan Ormond is up there. So now Jacob Miller's up there in the number 9. Came in pit road. He's going to have to surrender some spots there, but will be up further than where it was. Luke Rennie trying to get his spots back in line in the 88 cars. We'll go take a look at what happened. Caution flag entering pit road. About 3-4 cars going to the outside concrete in turns 3 and 4. All right, Trey, coming down pit road, and I mean, this could have. Do you think something happened between Stapleton and Chen, because he hits him right there, and then chases him down and hooks him?
Yeah, he just chased him down the track, and then watch this impact right here. That 40 of Lynn just gets squeezed on the nose, on top of the wall, and then he's going to rotate it over one time, and luckily no more, Joe, because that could have been a wild ride for him. I mean, it already was, but it could have been worse.
Yeah, we've seen in the past guys in 3 and 4 that have tumbled like Jack Haas. They tumble and tumble and tumble and tumble, and it seems like they never stop. Luckily for Benny Lynn, he did 1 rotation and then drove the car around the racetrack again. I mean, he could have come down pit road right here, but decided against it. I don't know if he thought he could continue, but that car obviously well torn up and not going to be able to continue the day. So tough break for Chip Ganassi Racing. They have 2 of their cars involved with Stapleton and Benny Lynn. Jerry Chen also collected in the 24s. We'll go take a look at the wreck once again as Stapleton almost cuts across his teammate's nose right there. And one more look at this crash, and I just have to think, Trey, something had happened, and obviously we won't know until we talk to the drivers of Stapleton and Chen, but that just kind of seemed unnecessary and a little bit dangerous.
That looks as intentional gets. I mean, he hit him twice, Joe. Slammed him, door slammed him, which that's enough as it is, but then yet turned him again, almost head on into the wall if the 40 wasn't there to kind of not cushion the hit, but redirect the car to where it was just kind of on the side there. But unfortunately, it caused the 40 to go upside down. So that, yeah, I don't know if NASCAR is going to want to talk with Staple, but I know that 24 definitely will.
And somehow out of all that, the guy who got hooked got the least amount of damage. Jerry Chen actually drove away and is going to be able to keep his car in the race. Benny Lynn's going to be out. Nathan Stapleton's going to be, with a lot of damage on the 42. But as pit stops occurred, Zachary Fitzwater Sr. came in first. He's going to leave first. Can PPI Motorsports find victory lane with Fitzwater? We're going to find out in the second half of this race. Under 20 laps remain in the Pennzoil 400 here at Texas World. 14 laps remain when we take the green flag for Zachary Fitzwater Sr. Could be the longest 14 laps of his life as he leads for PPI Motorsports here at the Texas World Speedway. One car is out and done from that crash. It's Benny Lynn. He's in the garage and done. Nathan Stipton, Jerry Chen still out there on the racetrack, but at the back of the field is damaged. There's Chen back in 41st. Nathan Stapleton is still there in 39th. If those two have some more dues to pay, who knows? They could be into each other again. There are a lot of big names back here as well. Chen from the crash, Stapleton with the crash, but Keegan Thompson is back here in the number 5, winner of this race in 2000, but since that win has not finished inside the top 10 here. Jay Randall, winner of the first 2 races, having a very, very bad race, while other drivers who are up there in points, like Evan Hunter and Sarah Kircher, having good runs. Jay Randall could be in danger of losing the points lead. He's outside the top 30. Eli Bright, winner of this race in 2002. Jude Martinelli started top 5. He's back here. Jordan Stout, field inspection hasn't made much progress through the field, so some big names at the back of the field for the first restart of the day. At the front, it's Fitzwater, Wells, Richardson, DeLello, and Hunter the front 5. Then Gary in 6th, Collins 7th, Evans is 8th, 9th for Crown Jr., Luke Rennie is 10th. Back green at Texas World. Great jump for 2nd and 3rd. Mathis Wells, low time, fake slow, down to the bottom of the racetrack.
But what is he going to do now, Joe? Everyone's got fresh tires. Everyone's going to get back up to that 200-mile average pace speed. Who really has the advantage now?
I don't think anyone has an advantage. I think everyone's going to be out there trying to go full throttle around this 2-mile racetrack and hope it can stick on the bottom of the racetrack and he can make those moves work. Mathis Wells clears and leads, but here comes Zachary DeLello to the bottom of the racetrack. Car number 16 trying to continue Roush's winning streak. DeLello moves to the front, push from Tim Gary, who's up to second with Conrad Evans right behind him. Evans, remember, is hung around the front like Tim Gary all day long. Those two cars have been some of the strongest. Here they are, Trey, still up front and going 3 wide for the lead in turn 1.
They're 3 by 3 by almost 3 again, Joe. This is getting intense.
And here's Luke Rainey moving up. Not a good starting spot, not a good qualifying result, but here he is, Trey, up inside the top 3 late in the going, looking for another win in his Cup Series career and for his first victory of the season. Rainey now for second on Tim Gary, using the bottom of the racetrack. Evans slides a little wide. Here comes Luke to the bottom of the racetrack. Some other faces up at the front. Roberto Crown Jr. up inside the top 5. Jacob Miller, first time we called the 9 car here today, moving to the top with Sebastian Kuklon with the big run. And how about just a few cars back is Chris Jericho making the move to the front of the field, the 18 car. Gary slides up the track, 3 wide for 3rd.
This is looking like Daytona or Talladega, Joe. These guys are all over each other right now. Something's got to give at some point, right? But right now, these leaders are side by side for lead. Luke Rainey's on the bottom, which is where you want to be, but Evans is going to end up blocking him. Not a lot of room there to do such a thing.
That was a big block from Conrad Evans onto Luke Rainey. Luke is all over the back bumper of this number 31 RCR Chevrolet. Cam Wright's got me a little nervous right now seeing someone so close to the back bumper of one of his cars. Here goes Luke to the bottom of the racetrack in turn 1 now. Rainey for the lead through turns 1 and 2. Will he get the help from Kukulon and Strickland, or will Kukulon go up and try and help his teammate?
He's going to do a little bit of both. There he goes. Now he commits to the top. He looks like he didn't want to, but that's going to allow Strickland to get down to the bottom. That's why he was kind of going middle there, Joe. He was trying to see what Strickland was going to do, but eventually Strickland goes to the bottom. Now he's working his way up to second.
So here comes Lathan Strickland pushing Luke Rainey through. Strickland with Chris Jericho up inside the top 5. First time we've called that here today. Jericho looking for second. He's not been all that good here at the Texas World Speedway over his career. He has 4 races here, but Trey's never finished inside the top 10. His last 2 finishes at this racetrack are 37th and 36th. Here today, he's running second with 10 laps to go in the Pennzoil 400. Could Chris Jericho break the string of bad races here at Texas World? And how about Matthew Burnett up inside the top 5? As he goes wide, here comes Evans back, his teammate Kukulon with him, and here comes Luke Rennie's teammate Riley Spurleytube is up inside the top 10 late.
And here comes that 9, Joe, you mentioned earlier. Now, think about this, right? During that wreck, he was right beside those guys. He was right beside the 24. Now look where he's at, because he came down pit road, going with everyone else. He got that track advantage. He got the positions, and now he's up here battling for the win.
Yeah, a bit of a lucky break for Jacob Miller, who didn't really have a good race going up until that caution flag came out. Lathan Strickland, top to bottom, making a move on Sebastian Kukulon. At the front of the field, Luke Rainey holding everyone at bay for now. Chris Jericho trying to get there. Conrad Evans trying to get there. Lathan Strickland up to 4th. Jacob Miller for 5th. Evans with a big dive to the bottom of the racetrack. That 31 Trey is superb here today. He just gets runs that no one else can get. If the 31 doesn't win this race, it's just going to be because everyone has the draft on him, and it's not going to be because he wasn't the best car here today.
Yeah, I think if there was an award for the best car, it would definitely have to go to this guy here. He's just got to have luck on his side to get the runs and get up front when it's the right time. But here comes your pole sitter yet again. This 84 of Webb is really making his way up to the front right now, and he's going to be able to capitalize it. He knows he has the speed, but he's just got to get up there.
We'll have to see. He kind of fell back, never got to lead a lap here today, but Drew Webb coming back up when it matters most. Conrad Evans for second place on Jericho with 7 laps to go in the Pennzoil 400. Luke Rainey holding everyone at bay. 3 wide for about 5th place. It's Atkins in the middle, Strickland up top. Nathan Ormond is moving low. Riley Spurleytube trying to push Drew Webb clear of Jacob Miller. Miller hanging tough on the top of 1 and 2 as you mentioned, Trey. That's where you kind of want to be at points, but then the bottom of 3 and 4 really works well. No one's been able to get to Luke Rainey, though. He still maintains out in front. 6 laps to go at the line. Can Evans stay committed to Jericho? So far, Trey, Evans doesn't want to stay with Chris Jericho, and it's really hurting them both.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's this is a time where it might sound weird, but you don't want to be greedy, and you kind of want to work with someone who's not your teammate here to get past this 88, because he is just so strong out front. But it's the 31 who feels like he has a stronger car by himself, that he's going to be able to make the move, but I just don't think that's going to cut it.
He still hasn't been able to make it. He goes to the bottom of 1 and 2. He can't make it stick, and then Jericho gets to the bottom of 3 and 4. They get a run into Luke Rainey, but Evans gets the better run through 3 and 4, but cannot complete the pass unless he has help down the bottom of 1 and 2. Maybe he could get help from his teammates who are coming to the front. Once again, it's the same story for about the 3rd or 4th time. Evans moves low, but they get the run to Luke Rainey, but they're not close enough to make a move. 3 wide behind them. Tim Garrett making a big move. We have 5 laps to go. Oh, they're wrecking in turn 1! Up the racetrack and into the wall. We had a few cars spin around. This will be the race back for the win.
Oh, no.
Jacob Miller, Jay Rando, Nathan Ormond.
No.
Miller is on top of Rando. This is for the win of the race. Luke Rainey is out in front of the 88 car, and no contest from behind.
It's going to be Luke Rainey bringing it to the checker, Joe.
Yes, it is. Ford is going to continue their winning streak. 3 to start the season. Luke Rainey takes the caution flag, and he's happy he took it when he did, because, I mean, Evans was coming, so was his teammate Atkins, and RCR Trey, 3 cars up inside the top 5.
Whoa.
I don't know what Jericho was doing there.
Yeah, did you see Jericho there? I don't know if he got bumped or if he got loose or what there, but yeah, that was Luke Rainey saw nothing but RCR in his rearview mirror, and that caution could have come out at a better time for him.
As the Luke Rainey looks like it's going to win this race, and another race this season going to end under the caution flag, but that's kind of been the theme so far this season. We saw at Daytona that late caution flag, here at Texas World this late caution flag, and this time it's going to go the way of Luke Rainey, but some hard hits in that one. I think Nathan Stapleton, he had it, he was behind but still got involved, so he obviously kind of drove into it. Jacob Miller, Jay Randall, the points leader, and Nathan Ormond, those were guys who were moving up, trying to have some good runs, and they didn't get it here today after that one, and that is going to end the race short. So we'll quickly go check out what happened. Caution flag is out. Race is over. Jacob Miller takes a tumble in turns 1 and 2, collecting the points leader, and also Nathan Ormond, the last of the Chip Ganassi racing cars that was running competitively. A big crash to end this race, Trey, going into turn number 1. This is one of the only cameras we have of the beginning of this crash. Thompson looks 4 wide. Rando, Ormond, and Miller get together, and they take a hard hit into the outside wall.
Yeah, I mean, yet another hard hit outside wall, nothing but concrete, Joe. It's just not good. It's not what we can have here.
Yeah, so we don't have any other camera angles of the beginning of the crash. We do have a camera that kind of cut to it as the cars were coming down the banking to where Nathan Stapleton got involved. We'll go check that out now to see the end result of the crash. And here's where the camera kind of picked up what happened, Tracy. Miller upside down, and he continues to tumble. As Nathan Orman, you can see all the damage in that 41 car with Jay Rando in the 97. Miller still tumbles down the track, and he ends up on top of Jay Rando. And look at the miss for Skylar Taylor right there. But Nathan Stapleton ends up not missing this crash, and he's going to take a hard hit with Jay Rando here.
I mean, we're still waiting for Stapleton, right? We're still waiting. The 9 car's trying to figure out where it wants to settle down at. Still waiting, and then here he comes and just, I mean, and then he smacks the outside wall hard on the driver's side and ramps up on the wall. He's upside down now, and Joe, we know how the banking works here, and he's going to tumble once. Car doesn't want to. Finally flips over one more time, up on the nose, is breakdancing, and then finally going to settle down, Joe. But that was a
bad day for Chip Ganassi Racing.
Yeah,
Benny
a very
Lynn
bad
upside
day.
down, Nathan Stapleton upside down, and Nathan Orman involved in that big crash. And I mean, who knows what happened with his crash?
At least the pace car knows how to avoid an incident.
Yeah, Kevin Bandon did a great job. He slowed down through that. There's a lot of debris down there, but in the end, Luke Rennie gets back around in front. The 88 car is going to win the Pennzoil 400 under the caution flag. Will come back for the final lap of the checker flag. Luke Rennie back to victory lane here in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series. Down the back straightaway with the white flag out, the final lap here at Texas World. Luke Rennie going to continue Ford's winning streak. They won the first 2 races of the season with Jay Rando, who obviously is now DNF'd from this crash. Luke Rennie, though, going to pick up and win with Ford here today. And he had some hungry RCR drivers come behind with Evans and Atkins, and then you have Jericho for Joe Gibbs. I mean, a lot of Chevys coming behind him, but in the end, Luke Rennie's going to end up on top here for Robert Yates Racing. Josh Moreno, the team owner, going to be very happy with this. And for Luke, you know, once again, he had that very long top 10 streak dating back to the end of last season. Got broken last week at the California Speedway. He finished 5th here at Texas World last season. He's going to hold off one of the dominant cars of the day, Conrad Evans, to win the Pennzoil 400 here at Texas World. Checkered flag is in the air. Robert Yates Racing, Josh Moreno, and Luke Rennie win the Pennzoil 400 under the caution flag here at the Texas World Speedway. The field comes across. You notice, obviously, the missing points leader, Jay Rando, into the garage, done for the day. So Rando's points lead had grown to start the season, going to shrink now after Texas World with a DNF here in the 3rd race of the season. The field's going to pace around and come back down pit road into the garage area to end the race. And we'll go take a look at the finishing results. 40 laps complete here at Texas World. The last few under the caution flag. But Luke Rennie holds on to win this race in the 88 car. Conrad Evans ends up in 2nd, leading his RCR teammates up through there with Atkins in 3rd, Jericho in 4th, and then the 3rd RCR car, Kukulon, with the top 5. Then Matt, as well as the other Joe Gibbs car in 6th. Great day for Jesse Lingard, the new team owner for Joe Gibbs Racing. Keyshawn Richardson backs up his impressive performances as of late here at Texas World with 3 top 5s in the last 3 races here. Now another top 10 in 7th. Tim Gary, 8th place, very solid run. Riley Spurgeon, first time we really called the 28 car, 9th. And Keegan Thompson, all the way at the back for the restart around midway point. He gets up to finish in 10th. Evan Hunter ends up in 11th. Solid day. Not the top 10 streak, top 5 streak that he can continue, but very solid 11th place finish. Could get him to the points lead. Then you have DeLello in 12th. Ruiz 13th. Drew Webb, the rookie, in 14th from pole position. Justin Zidella top 15. You have Ryan Wilson came from the back of the field with the top 20. Lathan Strickland, there's Jude Martinelli, Hunter Reed, and Mitchell Collins. Sarah Kirchner faded back to 21st there at the end. Smith Osgood a solid day, same with Laura Chung. Anthony Hernandez, number 1, one of the Texans. Jerry Chen, after that damage, battled back up. Eli Bright never had the car today. Fitzwater restarted in 1st, but ends up in 29th. Henry Guo down there in 30th, didn't get to make much noise. There's Jordan Stout, didn't really have the car. Failed inspection and didn't really have the speed here today. John Barrymore's first start of the season. There's 91 Ahmed Walid. Tyler Belladonna, another Texan, just didn't have the day here today. Premac Shane, Skylar Taylor, and then obviously cars out from crashes, Jacob Miller, Jay Randall, Nathan Ormond, and actually the 3 CGR cars, 40th, 41st, and 42nd. Obviously very disappointing, and all 3 of them had very hard hits with Ormond, and obviously we know Stapleton, Benny Lynn both upside down in the 42 and the 40. That's the field and how they finished here today at Texas World. We'll take a look at the points. 3 races in, and Trey, we had thought Jay Rando, very dominant to start the season, 2 wins to start the season, but it took a hit here today with that big crash at the end, DNF for the race, and now it's 2 wins and a DNF for Rando. Going to drop his points lead down and maybe even out of the points lead.
Yeah, it was a strong start for him, but that just shows you that it takes 1 race, 1 bad finish to really jumble stuff up again. So we'll see how they're gonna end up recovering in the next race, and for everyone else, we're gonna see if they're gonna be able to pounce on this.
Well, we're finally getting out of the some of the crazy style of racing that we've had. We had, super speedway racing at Daytona. We had 4 caution flags and some crazy racing at California, some crazy racing here at Texas World. Let's get a little bit calmer next race, baby. For the 4th race of the season, JRTV, the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series, is going to go to Rockingham Speedway for the Subway 400, a 1-mile racetrack. We're going to see high tire wear there. The pack kind of spread out, so maybe more of a driver racetrack rather than something where the equipment means more than the driver does, like we've seen in these first 3 races. And, for drivers, I'm sure they're glad they're going to a more normal racetrack next week on JRTV. But today, it's all about Luke Rennie, the 88. Didn't qualify all that well, but raced well here today. 88 car, Robert Yates racing to victory lane in the Pennzoil 400 at Texas World. For Trey Bardot and Joe Rakowski, so long, but tune in to JRTV next week for the Rockingham race.